$1 million mark. That's a milestone, isn't it? They did it because they were available in 1,300 different retail locations in 6 different Southeast Asian countries. That's how they did it. That may be the reason why you are not familiar with them, because we're not in Southeast Asia now, are we? I'd never heard of them before. But this award of the Super Brands Award that they received, let me give you an idea of how prestigious this is by sharing with you some of the previous recipients of this award. Notable companies that maybe you've heard of, like maybe Boeing. Anybody ever heard of Boeing? There we are. What about Sony? Anybody ever heard of Sony? Okay, now tell me that everybody's heard of Coca-Cola now. Am I right?
That's right.
At least you've heard about them. I don't know whether you drink it or not. But you know that the brand name getting a Super Brand Award is synonymous with the Super Brand Award that we received. Now you understand a little bit more about the leadership of our company. The founders have been successful multiple times, taking a company from creation and all the way to publicly traded status. That's pretty significant, isn't it? How many people do you know who've done that one time, let alone multiple times? And then even more times, other companies that they didn't begin with creation, but they did take them to the publicly traded status as well. So the reason why I share that with you is because they are qualified to know when the time is right, they are prepared to take this company to the publicly traded status, and you can be a part of that journey and adventure if you'd like. I'm looking forward to that. Anybody else?
Yeah.
There you are. You're here at the very first Super Saturday. Now let's talk about the origin of Laminine and how it got started. Back in 1929, Dr. John R. Davidson was a Canadian doctor, and he found that by extracting the fluid from a fertile egg during the middle of incubation, he was able to take that substance and inject it into patients that were terminally ill with cancer and bring them back to perfect health. Wow. Take a look again at what year I said. What year? 1929. That's incredible. I'm going to show you a video that's a newscast. It's not the best high-definition quality video, let me warn you right now. But don't look at it for the quality of the visual quality. Look at it for what you're hearing and what you're seeing. And then imagine yourself being incredibly successful by marketing over 80 different products and shipping them over to Southeast Asia, hitting hundreds of millions of dollar mark, and being able to be in a position to take action after watching this video. Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's see if the mic's on, and watch this video.
Tonight we have a story about a controversial treatment for cancer invented by a Winnipeg doctor. It's not new. In fact, Dr. John Davidson used it on hundreds of patients decades ago. What is new is that some 50 years after the doctor's death, more than half a century after his theories were dismissed as quackery, scientists are rekindling the flame of his research. With more on the legendary cancer doctor, here's CTV's medical specialist, Amy Savro.
His name was John Ralston Davidson, a respected family doctor in Winnipeg in the early 1900s.
A great scientist, as well as a great doctor.
And this is Leslie Gurney Bishop, now 88, a journalist who documented Dr. Davidson's controversial treatment for cancer.
He never claimed that it cured it, but he said it would arrest it.
Davidson spent years studying cancer, writing medical articles on his theories, which in hindsight were remarkable for his time.
The doctor described cancer as a dietary deficiency, so he added generous amounts of vitamins to the patient's diet. But he also said it was critical to boost the patient's own defenses against cancer, which is why he developed what he called young tissue extract.
Davidson took fertilized hen's eggs just 9 days old and produced a powdered extract, which was then injected into patients with various forms of terminal cancer. Like this boy, diagnosed with lymphatic cancer, notes show that with surgery, vitamins, and the extract, he returned to normal health. Over the years, Dr. Davidson treated hundreds of cancer patients,
They all said, the ones I interviewed, all said that it had benefited them tremendously.
Some said they were cured.
Ruth Burke's father was one of Davidson's more famous patients. Harry Leader, the member of Parliament for Portage-la-Prairie, had been diagnosed with terminal bowel cancer by the Mayo Clinic in the U.S. But under Davidson's treatment, he improved.
It was controversial scientifically, but that really didn't affect that. He believed in it.
But Davidson's medical colleagues thought the treatment was useless and repeatedly refused him research money.
It's as though they've been instructed by somebody, well, just tear him up, just tear him up. And they did.
Frustrated with the lack of support, Harry Leader, with his own good health as proof, took Davidson's pleas for funding straight to Ottawa in 1944, directly to Prime Minister Mackenzie King.
He never wanted any publicity from this. He simply wanted help for this man whom he felt could help humanity.
The Prime Minister refused to fund Davidson's work. The doctor died 4 years later.
He would die pretty well of a broken heart, if you know what I mean, because he had not been recognized.
His cancer treatment thought to have died with him.
But then 6 years ago, the treatment was rediscovered by a Toronto company. It hired researchers at Dalhousie University to test the theory. Could these embryonic chicken cells really be a cancer treatment? When research began, there was excitement.
Davidson's extract, in many ways, could be a cancer vaccine.
In 3 studies on mice, the compound apparently shrunk tumors.
We have to be careful about raising people's hopes falsely.
Jonathan Lang is one of the researchers looking at the revived young tissue extract.
Davidson's extract, in many ways, could be a cancer vaccine. There could be things in the extract that promote a response against the cancer.
But then suddenly, the research stopped. The then owners of the extract had financial problems. They stopped paying the researchers. Dalhousie was out some $60,000 and halted the experiments.
The university would be interested in continuing the work because the results were very promising.
But for nearly 5 years now, the capsules have simply laid on the shelf.
One could easily walk away from the same kind of thing. But wouldn't we be leaving behind something that could potentially have significant impact for large numbers of people?
But if we don't take her soon, the venture will die. A darn shame, says Dr. Bain, because we still won't have the answer. Was Dr. Davidson right?
But if Dr. Davidson's extract does show the power to combat cancer,
This could be not only one of the great human victories in overcoming disease, but it could also be one of the great human tragedies.
a tragedy because for the last 50 years, a possible cancer treatment and its pioneer were forgotten. Ada Sparrow, CTV News, Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine seeing that and being in a position to immediately spring into action to lock up the worldwide marketing rights of that product? Wow. That's the foresight of the founders of the company. That's what they did. And with this product, because of what they did, you now know about it and you're here today. And I'm taking it. Anybody else taking it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How about we say thanks, Bernard? Thanks, Wixon. It's all good. Well, we want to show you that in the creation of Laminine, the scientists have now confirmed that on exactly the 9th day of the incubation of the fertilized avian egg, it contains all the necessary elements necessary for the avian life, the bird. However, what we do is take and at the very precise moment, we extract this highly potent tissue. And we then combine it with the marine and the phytonutrients to then have all the essential amino acids necessary for human life. Now do you understand why we say our source is the miracle of life? It's right in that process with the incubated egg. Then 9 days before, it's not all there. And if you wait too long, it's a chicken. Okay? Timing is very critical, don't you agree? All right. So that's what they found through science. Who thinks that now scientists know everything? They don't, do they? Have you ever found a scientist that says, oh yeah, we now have discovered everything? No. No, in fact, let me tell you, in 1929, this was working, and they didn't even know why then. We still don't know all the reasons why. I'll share with you more. But let's talk about the 22 amino acids. What are amino acids? They are the critical to life protein building blocks. Our body requires them on a daily basis. How often? Daily, every day, just like food and water. Can you breathe enough air today that you won't need to waste your time breathing tomorrow? No, you need it every day now, don't you? Just like the amino acids on a daily basis. And the amino acids are what join together to make proteins in our body. How many? One protein? Two? How about 2 million different proteins in the human body? That's right, over 2 million different ones, all from the 22 amino acids. Now, the proteins are used to make up our muscles, our tendons, our organs, our glands, our hair, and this is important, the growth and maintenance and repair of all of our cells. They're all dependent on it. How often? Daily. And next to water, proteins make up the greatest portion of our body weight. How many people knew that before right now? See? We know we're supposed to eat protein. We know we have amino acids. But how much do we know about amino acids? Well, we know some are essential and some are non-essential, right? So which ones are which? I don't know. Are you sure you're getting the essential ones? I don't know. Well, let me give you an idea of how to understand the difference between essential and non-essential. It's the word right there, diets. You have to eat the essential ones. The non-essential ones you don't have to eat. Let me share with you why. Because the non-essential ones can be manufactured by our bodies if they have the essential ones. Using colors to explain this, if there were colors for the amino acids and one was yellow and one was blue, these would both be essential amino acids. Why? Because you have to eat them. But your body will take a yellow and a blue one and it will make the green one. That's the non-essential amino acid. Does that help anybody understand that process and why? What if we gave the body all 22? Didn't we help it out? That's what we do with Laminine. We give all 22, essential and non-essential, and we supply them every day. That may be the explanation for some of the incredible testimonies that you're hearing. Now, this is a list of all of the bodily functions that do not use amino acids, okay? And I'd like everyone to memorize this list today for me, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the list. That was pretty easy to memorize, wasn't it? Yeah, see, I had to put this in here that it is left blank intentionally so people didn't think, uh-oh, what happened to the slide presentation, right? It's intentionally left blank. We need it for everything. Everything. I'll make a list of just a few. The amino acids are necessary in our bodies on a daily basis to build muscles, to repair our organs, our heart, our liver, our pancreas, regulate our hormones and our immune system, our hair, skin, nails, the testosterone, our blood enzymes. How about weight loss and memory loss? How about neurotransmitters in our brain, our thought process, the cognitiveness? All of this is all used on a daily basis. Some people can read this and see it, and they get the picture. Other people really need a picture. So there's your picture, folks. All right? This is a picture showing you all the different amino acids and what they're used for specifically in our body. Which one do you want to be without? I don't want to be without any of them. This gives you an idea what we're talking about with amino acids. Now, to find out more information about amino acids, you can do a Google search on amino acids, and it will show you how many? 35 million results. And we're going to go over every one of them today, right? No, not really. Of course, we don't have time. That wouldn't be all good for me either, okay?
It's not bad for 15 bucks.
That's right. But it certainly gives you an idea that there's a lot of information out there about amino acids and how critically important they really are. But it's pretty easy to determine whether you're running a little short and deficient in amino acids. This is how simple it is. mood swings and depression. Is anyone married? I mean, does anyone know anyone who suffers from mood swings and depression? It's all good, Tom. It's all good, buddy. It's a pretty simple indicator. How about anxiety and nervousness? These two are, how about insomnia? Everybody tossing and turning, they can't sleep. You'll know because they're right next to you and you can't sleep now either, right? That's an indicator of the deficiency. What about chronic fatigue, chronic pain? Wow, those are some pretty serious things. How about muscular weakness and loss of lean body tissue? Maybe because you have muscular weakness, because you're in chronic pain and you're too tired and you can't sleep and you're nervous and you got mood swings. That might be one of the reasons, okay? Do you see how they all kind of work together synergistically? What about the inability to lose body fat and weight gain and digestive disorders? Anybody know anybody with digestive disorders? How about impaired healing of wounds? That could be pretty serious if you know someone and they're trying to heal a wound but they don't know why. That definitely makes them more susceptible to infection, doesn't it? And what about dry and brittle hair, skin, and nails? This one usually gets everybody. What about blood sugar and blood pressure? Do you know anyone who's suffering from blood pressure, blood sugar issues? Maybe it may be a symptom of amino acid deficiency. Now, here's a list of 13. That's not the end of it. I just wanted to pick out a few of them. But let's see if I get every hand raised or not. Do you know somebody who has one of those or more? Yeah. And are they in the room here today with you? Yeah. Is it maybe you? I mean, or even if they're not, you're here for them now, aren't you? See? So remember their name. Write down a name that comes to you while we're talking so you can get back to them afterward. Now, even a slight, it doesn't have to be total deficiency, just a slight protein deficiency may explain the academic performance and also the poor performance, and could also have an effect on the mood and cognition. As children, it can affect them, and as they grow to be older children, continue to affect them, and especially in boys. This is according to Bob Lanier. He's a Jesuit college professor. My wife likes to point out the especially boys part, okay? I'm not sure if it's because we have 4 boys and 1 girl, but we know that it is especially boys because we have so much more muscles, right, guys? Yeah, that's why. That's not what my wife said. What about the weakest link? See, you don't have to be real deficient in one, but failure to obtain enough of even one of the 8 essential amino acids instantly begins the degradation of our bodies. That's how simple it is. You've heard the chain is as strong as the weakest link, yes or no? Have you ever heard that your body is as strong as the weakest amino acid? You just did, that's right. Let's use this graph of colors, showing different colors representing different amino acids. Notice how they're all at different varying levels because we didn't even know which ones we were eating or how much, right? So whatever we ate, that's what would be represented. Well, when an adequate amount is not supplied, disease will result. Is that might result or will result? Yeah, will. It will. That's a direct quote, by the way. And whichever amino acids that we are lacking in will set the bar for the body's use of the other amino acids. Can you see that this is the level that your body is functioning at on all cylinders? What about up here? Skippity-doo-dah, skippity-yay. You're missing something. And sometimes one particular ingredient or nutrient or vitamin and amino acid will help somebody with their ailment, but then it doesn't help you. Why is that? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but maybe it's because that one you have plenty of and they were short on it. And it raised the bar for them, but it didn't do anything for you. It doesn't do a lot of good to keep this one going up all the way off the chart now, does it? See? This is a picture to show that our body requires the synergy of all the amino acids working together in order to have the beautiful music. Let's talk about depression for a moment. Depression and amino acids. It's real simple. The amino acids help in the serotonin levels, and it's real easy to determine whether or not they're low. I'll show you the indicator. It's right there. When you're low, that's when you get depressed. And when you have sufficient and you're high enough, then this is how you indicate. And it's real simple. Our indicators are right in front of our face now, aren't they? Everyone knows. Now, the World Health Organization in July of 2011, how long ago was that? 2 months ago? Is this pretty much hot off the press? Yeah. And the World Health Organization says that 19.2% of the U.S. population is depressed. I've had some people argue with me afterwards. They say, K-Ross, you got that all wrong, K-Ross. It's 19.2 aren't depressed, okay? The other 80% are the depressed ones. How many of you would almost agree with that? See? At least in your world of friends, in my world of friends. Now, the 19.2% is high enough that, watch this, it's the leading cause of disability worldwide, not just the United States, and not only in adults, but the #1 disability for children, our future. They're depressed. That's depressing, isn't it? Really. I mean, they should have all the hope and happiness ready. They're young. They don't even have the stresses of us. How many of you know people that have children suffering from depression? This may be the reason why you're here for them today. What do you do if you do have depression? What do you do if your child is depressed? You go to the doctor, right? And what does the doctor have for you? There we go. Take a look. Now, this article is August of 2011. How long ago was that? And it says that the antidepressants are the most popular prescription medication in the United States of America. The #1 prescription is antidepressants. This is the article. I pulled out just a couple of excerpts right here. Stephen Miller says that he is prescribing more antidepressants than I ever thought I ever would. That's an indication of an epidemic. Now, if you're depressed and you go to the doctor and he gives you an antidepressant, that's fine. But do you know what the #1 side effect is? Here it is. The most common side effect is sexual dysfunction. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was depressed and then I took an antidepressant and then I became sexually dysfunctional, I'd be right back to depressed again. That's just me. That's just me, though, okay? I don't know about you. So it is a vicious cycle. Thank you, Fred. It is. But it even gets real serious, too, because law firms are encouraging women to look into a study that was done in Finland, and it says that there's a risk of birth defect. It may be small, but do you want to take a risk of birth defect and sexual dysfunction to not be depressed? If there was an alternative, if there was a safe, all-natural alternative, would you want to try it first? Some people even try it with. Let's show this study. This is actually a clinical study on depression. And I'm only going to read the bold. It says the effects of the powdered fertilized egg on depression. This is the abstract. A 12-week double-blind placebo-controlled study. We'll drop down here too. The treatment group showed a significant improvement in depression, whereas the placebo group showed, can you read that for me? No significant change. The results are, the study indicates that the fertilized egg powder has an antidepressive effect and may be an alternative or adjunct to antidepressive medications for some patients. Wouldn't you like to know if you're one of the some patients? Yeah, there's only one way to find out. Just to take it. That's right. Just take it. Sleep. Sleep requirements. According to the doctor's site, WebMD, in August of 2011, am I showing you stuff hot off the press? Am I showing you stuff that you can easily validate and verify? Absolutely. They say that as a child you need about 16 hours of sleep, and as a teenager more like about 9, and as an adult about 7 to 8. How many of us are getting 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep? Maybe some of us are closer to the 5 or the 10, okay? Trying to get to sleep, tossing and turning. Well, sleep disorders have a number of consequences, and this is one of them. Right in the middle of the day, bright as can be, zonked out. Now, I don't know whether it's because he didn't get a good night's sleep before or whether he just scarfed down that pizza and soda, okay? It could have been a combination of a few things, right? But we do know that our kids are falling asleep in class, aren't they? That's right. And it hampers their memory problems, and the depression that we talked about, the weakening of our immune system, which makes us more susceptible to sickness and disease, and it also increases the perception of pain. This is according to WebMD. This chart shows us when falling asleep feels the easiest. This is when you're in class. This is when you're at work. And this is when you're in bed actually trying to sleep, okay? It's about right there, right? That's just a fun one. Somebody sent that to me in an email. I said, now that's pretty cute. Now let's talk about some serious side effects of sleep deprivation. Don't we all know that there are accidents because of it? The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says 56,000 motor vehicle accidents a year, resulting in 1,500 deaths. And how many injuries? A year in only 365 days. And why? Because of sleep deprivation. It can be serious. Now let's talk about clinical studies. I already showed you the one about depression. That really could be enough, couldn't it? If that's all this little pill did, it could be an entire market of the #1 prescribed medication, and this is an alternative to. But we've done 10 clinical studies, and they show that the regular use of Laminine help in elevating the serotonin levels. That's that depression one I'm talking about. But it also goes on to say that it reduces stress, and the other studies say that there's a more restful sleep as well, and building the collagen in our healthier skin. And as I go down this list, does it look anything familiar like maybe the one I showed you at the beginning? Because we have clinical studies that back up the first slide I showed you with the list of things that you may be interested in. Don't we all agree that if you increase the libido, that's one of the best ways to burn fat? See? Clinical studies. We got clinical studies here, okay? Now, it doesn't matter which one of these 18 different things is the first one you experience. How many of you are experiencing more than one benefit? Yeah. First it's this one, and then it's that one. I don't know which one is going to be your first, but believe me, it's a merry-go-round, and you can get on anywhere you want, and you can experience them all. Who knows? If you try it. Now, the results that we were getting were better than expected. So much better than expected that the founders of the company asked this question: why are the results better than expected? And they didn't have the answer. So they went to a doctor, Dr. Juicer, who is a chemical engineer, and they said, you provide us with the answer. It was about over 1,000 pages, okay? That's a long answer. I'm going to show you one of the key things. One of the key things that he brought out was the fibroblast growth factor, otherwise known as FGFs, found in Laminine. Let's talk a little bit more about that. This is one of the most exciting parts about Laminine and what it can do and what fibroblast growth factors do. He told us, this is all being quoted from Dr. Juicer, that it is a substance that is abundant and found in the placenta. That's when we're being created ourselves. And then we're born and we cut the cord. Guess what? It's no longer found in the adult human body or our diet. That's right. But we lived on it for 9 months while we were being created. Fibroblast growth factors were first found and discovered in the 70s in the pro-embryonic stem cells. Remember when I asked, do you think scientists know everything now? Those same fibroblast growth factors were in the same eggs in 1929, right? They didn't even know about them until the 70s because we're learning more and more every day. But it was in there, wasn't it? Now, the fibroblast growth factors lead the way for the amino acids. What they do is the scientists now take the fibroblast growth factors and they inject it. Remember in 1929, he said he was injecting this into his patients in a target area of the body, and that's how they were obtaining the results. And they've researched this. I'll share a little bit more about how abundantly they've done that. What fibroblast growth factors do on a simple basis? He says it's like bringing the architect to the job site, okay? When you're building a bridge, if you had the architect on location and he was the one that was instructing the workers, carrying the bricks and telling them where to place them to be most efficient, do you think the bridge would turn out real good? Yeah, a lot better than if he wasn't there. Well, Dr. Juizer says that this is what fibroblast growth factors do, is they lead the way. They pull in the amino acids as they need them and place them where they serve best. That's one of the key factors. Fibroblast growth factors feed the brain stem cells, and nourished brain stem cells multiply. Our own stem cells multiplying. And the fibroblast growth factors then repair or destroy mutant genes. What does that mean? It means they have the ability to determine whether it's repairable or if it needs to be destroyed. They determine it. Then, and this is especially in Huntington's disease patients and Alzheimer's. Then the FGF, they tell the stem cells, you go over, take that form of that neuron gene and take back the function. Isn't that amazing? That's repairing. That's regeneration. That's what fibroblast growth factors do with the amino acids. And this is a huge key. Not with just the amino acids that we have in this little capsule, but in all the amino acids in your body. They utilize all the resources available to them to repair or destroy mutant genes so that they can rebuild health. That's what fibroblast growth factors do. FGFs, they've been reconnecting the brain neurons and helping with stroke recovery. How about dementia? Anyone that you love, that you know, suffers from dementia or Alzheimer's. Anybody have a child or know someone with a child with autism or adult? How about schizophrenia or obsessive compulsive disorder? All of these things dealing with the brain neurons. They found incredible results, and that was explaining these testimonials that we've been getting over and over. We've got one for you today that you're going to need a seatbelt. Strap it on because you're going to fall out of your chair when you hear this one. Get ready for it. Now, previous research, as I mentioned, was through injections. We're not talking about any injections here today. We're talking about digestion. So the question that some people would have is, can the fibroblast growth factors survive the stomach acids through that process of our body and arrive at the destination where they need to be in functioning and be able to do what they're, be available to do what they need to do? Well, what we know is that apparently the critically balanced fibroblast growth factors and amino acids in our product Laminine naturally have whatever it takes because the results are in the testimonials. Now, isn't that the truth? See, whether they could explain it or not, when you saw that little boy in 1929 that had cancer and went back to full, perfect health, he didn't have to understand this to benefit from it, did he? But it was working then, and it's working now. The testimonials prove it. I'll bring you back to Dr. Juizer and remind you that he said it was abundant in the placenta at the time of birth, however, not found in the adult human body and not found in our diets. He made a statement, and he said Laminine is the only known food source of FGFs to supplement our daily diets and receive this life-changing nutrient. He identified the fibroblast growth factor as number 2. There were 20 of them, and I just read an article last week, they may have found the 21st fibroblast growth factor. So they're still discovering more.
You need to say that 10 times fast.
Fibroblast growth factor. Now let's confirm what he said on Google. How many of you, when you hear something that incredible, you want to Google it? Am I the only one? No. See, I want to Google that. If you're telling me it's the only known food source, yeah, so I went right to Google, I plugged it in, and this is what I did. I put in fibroblast growth, I put in FGF, back up. FGF is what I put in. And it came back with 6,900,000 results. I'm like, wait a minute. He said it's the only one. There's 6,900,000 results. I went back through, checking it all out. You can buy fibroblast growth factor, but it's in a scientific form for injection, not food. So then I said, oh, wait a minute. He said the food source. So now you put in FGF2 food source, and it leads to no results found. Folks, it's right there off Google. Wow. Google. Google doesn't know about this, and I do. That's the way I spell opportunity. Okay? Yeah. I'm swallowing it, and they don't even know about it. How fortunate are you really today? How fortunate are we that we have the worldwide marketing rights to this product, and it's patented in 13 countries. And we got it. And Google don't even know about it. I love this. There is no other food source. Just exactly what Dr. Juicer said. The bottom line. With the fertile avian egg providing the foundation, we have created the doctor-formulated, balanced form called Laminine. It takes the synergy of all the amino acids, all the vitamins, the minerals, and, as I mentioned, the fibroblast growth factors. And do you think there might be a whole bunch of other things in there that we haven't even discovered yet? It takes the synergy of all that working together to create perfect health. And this can only be obtained with our unique proprietary patented product called Laminine. Folks, no one else has it according to Google, and no one else will according to Bernard, okay? That is another way to spell opportunity, okay? It comes in many forms. Folks, I want to close out this by just telling you, we don't want your money. And I'm serious about that. We don't. We want your hearts. We want your smiles. In fact, if after taking Laminine, you're not smiling that big, you will get your money back. It's 100% money back guarantee. If you don't fall in love with Laminine, you can have your money back. Is that simple? Yeah. Now, is that after you consumed it? Well, yeah. How else would you know whether you liked it or not? Yeah. You tell us it didn't work for you, you gave it a try, and we'll give you back your money. That's so simple. Is that the way you would want someone to work with you? That's the way I wouldn't want someone to work with me if it didn't work. So I've shared with you the secret. We've uncovered it. It's Laminine, folks. Many of you already know about it. Many of you are already taking it. But we want to share with you how it is that we're going to globally expand this company. We already have 10 clinical studies. Do we need another clinical study? We already have lots of testimonials, and we want more. We want yours, okay? But let me ask you a question. If we did another clinical study, or if you read another testimonial, is that what you need to know? See, I can read everybody's mind, just so you know. What are you thinking? Got it. You're thinking, will this work for me? Pretty good, aren't I? Yeah, see? I knew. You're thinking, wow, would this work for me? You know why I know? Because that's what I thought. I wanted to know, would this work for me? So what am I going to do? How am I going to find out? Because really, that's all that matters, isn't it? So we said, try it. Isn't that the only way? How else are you going to know? There's nobody else like you in this world, on this planet. Not even identical twins are the same. They all have 10 different fingerprints. Yeah. Nobody is like you. Try it. We've taken out the risk. We showed you that it's FDA approved as GRAS, generally regarded as safe. We've taken out the financial risk. It's 100% money back guarantee. There's only one way you're going to know. And what if it does work for you? Wow. What if you got 1 or 2 or 3 of those things on that list? I got a question for you. What would you do if it does work for you? Would you keep it to yourself? Or would you tell everyone? Or would you at least tell somebody? Maybe at least the people that you love and care about? How many would tell everybody? Yeah. Okay, Bernard, these are the leaders. Okay? How many would tell at least the ones you love? Those are the builders. Yeah. I'll go through that on the comp plan this afternoon. You're going to see how you can be compensated for raising your hand right now. Would you at least tell one buddy or maybe 2 buddies? Don't you have at least 2 people you love and care about? Well, if you do, we want you to invite them to join you in the U&2 Laminine Buddy Study. That's right. We'll do our own studies. How does it work? Well, we're not going to know whether it works for them unless they try it. We're not going to know if it works for us unless we try it. So we invite them to check out Laminine. Check out the company. Check out the product. We ask you to check up on yourself. You don't have to go to the doctor. And check in with me once a week. That way we can discuss what we're benefiting from. And at the end of the month, we're going to check one or the other. It's either going to pass or it's going to fail after 30 days. If it passes, it's because you got a benefit from Laminine. And you also have a business opportunity if you'd like. But if it fails, you get 100% of your money back guarantee, and now you know it didn't work for you. Is that pretty simple to call 2 buddies and ask them to participate in the U&2 Buddy Study? If you could do that, can you raise your hand for me again? Yeah, those are the U&2 Buddy Studies. That's how we're going to expand this company globally. We're all going to try Laminine together. That will condense the time for our expansion. So we've created this site. And on this site, you type in whyiwanttotrylaminine.com. What's the site? How easy is that? That's so simple. You type that in, and on this site, you will see at the top here this list of icons. Each of these icons are explained. The first one talks about the fact that a trusted friend invited you to check it out. The second one talks about the company being around since 2001 for over 10 years. The third one, right down here, when you click that, it says the Canadian TV News, and look what pops up. And they can play that news clip 24/7 and see what you saw today. Do you think that might help them decide that they want to be a part of your U&2 Buddy Study? Well, if that isn't enough, you can go on down here and have them read the testimonials and just keep reading and reading and reading and reading, because they are long, because these people are real happy. If you write that long of a testimonial, it's because you're happy. They can also go down here to the doctor's report, and you can see Dr. Kim here on a video explaining it to you, so you understand even more. So you realize it's doctor-recommended, doctor-formulated, doctor-tested with double-blind placebo-controlled studies. Oh, yeah, that might be the thing that convinces them. Maybe it's a 30-day money-back guarantee, but if you need everything that we went over in this slide presentation, right here at the second one to the bottom, has this PowerPoint presentation uploaded 24/7. You can click through it yourself and read the slides. Can you do that now? Can you do that? It is all good. And then the very last one, the bottom line is, would you join me with the Buddy Study? And it explains it to them right there, how simple it is. They can print this out wherever they live, New York, Florida, Hawaii, wherever they are, they can print it out and double check on it. And the next page gives what we recommend. This is the suggested dosage, and I'll explain today why. And then this says physical, medical, and mental observations, and then other classifications. And then down here, detailed notes of what you realize. Now, you can go through this, and you can read a number of things. You will not find, is your gray hair turning black on this list, okay? But that's what it did for me. I've got gray hairs that are gone black, okay? Now, here's the deal. I didn't even care what color they were. I just didn't want them to fall out, okay? Right? So I was happy with gray. I had no problem with gray. But they started changing color on me. And I don't think if I went to the doctor and said, Doc, is gray hair going black the first sign of cancer? No, I'm not worried about it. I'm amazed about it. Because to me, this is my personal opinion,